Hi, my name is Medina, and I decided to start this channel because I was having a lot of thoughts about different things and I was thinking I could share it with people. So, I want to talk about uh, very simple things like money management, finances, debt, um, things that Dave Ramsey talks about, but maybe with a slightly different tone. But I think he has a lot of valuable things to say. And you can learn a lot from him. So, that kind of thing. Obviously, I am a girl. I don't know if any other like topics, like if I will talk about other things that could be, relevant to anyone. Like the typical things that are on YouTube, like makeup or hair, or like saving money on those kinds of products, or weight loss. I don't know if I'm going to talk about that here. Maybe if there's a desire, I will. But I was thinking definitely talking about money, education, history, understanding history, and just like different topics that have been put on my heart. I feel like I've been called to make this channel, and finally I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna make it and just kind of see how it goes. I didn't plan this video, like I didn't write down what I was gonna say, so if it sounds like I'm rambling, you can let me know kindly in the comments below if there's like, because so far it's a new channel, it hasn't been made yet. But if I'm just gonna give you a few blurbs right now, maybe make the video like 3 minutes long, I don't know, is or maybe longer, is like with finances, how to save from potentially a young age, and to really understand what debt is, to understand interest rates, to understand like success. And obviously the channel is called Plebeian Princess, and it's not just for females, women, or whoever identifies as a woman, or it's not like about being a princess. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with whatever's associated with that, liking beautiful things, wanting to take good care of people, and wanting to be loved as well, or cherished, or whatever. There's nothing wrong with like those things per se. I mean, when they're in balance, right? Whatever's associated with princess, but plebeian princess, because plebeian represents, the plight of the plebs, right? Which is the majority of the population. And now with these platforms, we do have the opportunity to bring a new narrative into light that A, may not have been heard before, and B, there may be some resistance to this message. Sometimes you hear something, you're like, oh, that's not the truth. Well, I don't know. There's two things. When you hear something, you never heard it before, you might be like, I don't know, maybe that's just her opinion. Or sometimes this other things happen. Sometimes when I speak and I'm really talking from my heart, maybe I'm even talking about something that's like weird, people are like, oh, that's really cool. And my mom always says, when you speak truth, people feel the truth, even if you're reluctant to share it. So we all live very different lives, and we all have very different experiences. And if you try to fit your life into the advice given by a common narrative that is given by a different class, your outcomes are going to be different. So I want to talk about this thing specifically, how different people can potentially be very successful and happy in this life, in this time space reality, this continuum, or whatever this whole experience is, this human experience. So how people can be successful, bringing kind of a new voice and narrative to the like human experience, so consciousness, awareness. Sometimes people will say, oh, to be successful, do this. But the things they have access to and they can do are so different than someone else's life. And then I think people maybe who have a different experience sometimes feel shame to express that. But I don't think there should be any shame. And if there is shame, the shame is not yours. People who should be ashamed of anything, or if you have the capacity to make a change and make an impact and you choose not to. I'm not saying if you don't have the capacity, but I don't purposely believe in being controversial, but sometimes when you speak truth, like if you're in a workplace and you speak the truth, or if you're trying to do some things a certain way and you're trying to do things the right way, that sometimes does cause controversy, and that's not your objective. Your objective may be really, we're going to do this well. We're going to take this mission and we're going to really do this well. But sometimes doing those things does controversy. But that's not my objective, because I don't like that. I don't like being polemic just for the sake of being polemic. I would rather just things be chill. But you know, things are not chill. And there is a lot of things going on that should not be going on. And I think that just reflecting back a little bit, when I said shame, I think shame has two meanings, right? It's like, you don't want to shame someone, like, oh my God, like, okay, so I'm someone who tries to exercise and eat healthy. So if you shame someone and you tell them, oh my God, you're so fat, you stop eating that, that's, if you embarrass someone, there's shame, embarrass, and that kind of thing, I don't think is good. But like, there's shame as in remorse. Like when you feel bad, like, oh, I was so, I can't believe I talked to my friend like that as a child. I was so mean to her. I'm so ashamed now. Like, I think there's shame as in growth, as in remorse, as in like, wow, I reflected and I feel bad and I want to do better. And there's shame as in like, you're trying to just embarrass someone, make them feel bad about themselves because you either don't know better or you're being mean or who knows what. So I really hope that's clear, and I hope it doesn't sound like I'm just rambling, but the whole objective of this is to reach people and to give them avenues for success and to encourage people to really think for themselves. And now with the advent of the internet, there's, you know, YouTube videos and Google, and now they're starting to be like supposedly controlled, like some things you can Google for in the Google platform that you'll get certain hits but not other hits. And even YouTube and now is kind of being censored. But even within that, I feel still at this moment, it's still a valuable platform. I hope I'm not rambling. I keep saying that because I didn't like necessarily plan it out. I was like, I'm just going to record this video, and I don't know if that's responsible. So if you don't like this format and you'd rather me like sit there and type it out and plan it out and have like a specific goal. I knew what I was going to say, just like what I want this channel to be about. And I guess if you keep watching the video, there's going to be a video about like finances, and it's going to include like a spending tracker, you know, an Excel spreadsheet. It's going to have you know, different spreadsheets that I use to try to stay organized. And I didn't create them because I'm not that good at Excel, unfortunately, and that's something I would like to change, but I don't know if it's going to change because I don't know. I guess I could try to find a free course online. I'm just like kind of busy with other things, but it's important to me, so I just find good spreadsheets that have already been made. So it's going to be about money, a few videos or whatever, and maybe other videos if people are interested about like healthy food and eating. That's for sure, even outside of weight loss or anything like that. I'm not saying you have to lose weight. I just feel like everyone wants to feel their best, whether you feel like you're too thin and you want to put on muscle because that's how you feel more balanced and you just feel better, or whether you feel like you want to lose weight because you just, wherever your balance is, right? Because it's not always about weight loss. It's just like feeling fit. Anytime you feel fit, we all know that feels good. We want to feel good. We want to feel good inside our bodies. We want to be confident. We just want to feel good, you know? You want to be lifted up, right? So probably talk about that. So money and health largely, because that's kind of, you know, a lot of life. And then specific like struggles, and where people probably struggle with money and health a lot, and maybe some ways to address those. Probably talk about career, how to navigate a career, maybe how to pray or find a mentor, like all the things that maybe I didn't know, and some things I still don't know, but like all the just bring it to your consciousness, like, oh, okay, how to maybe potentially create or establish or think about a career, or things I never thought about. I didn't even have any input in that way, like different things about a job, and just to be aware so you have a choice in how you want to do things. And you know, it's Plebeian princess, and I don't know if I finished that chat, excuse me about that, plebeian, because it's people, right? There's certain people who are plebs. We're not all in the same class, we're not all in the same caste. I mean, I'm saying some things that make people feel uncomfortable, but it's just not true. We don't all live the same life. It's not true. And I think that's coming to light. And if that makes you feel uncomfortable, if it's painful, I mean, it's even painful for me in some ways. It's like sad to know that the thing you believed was true was not true. But the beauty of it is you get to make a choice. How do you want to impact this world, and what choice do you want to make? And sometimes we do feel helpless, but But so I don't know if you're Christian or your religion or Muslim or whatever your religion may be. I'm not trying to alienate anyone, but I think there was a sermon and the guy was like, or the girl, I think it was on Instagram. She's like, the devil will have you believe. I mean, I don't want to like scare anyone. Like you're like clicking out now, but anyway, the devil will have you believe that you can't do anything. Like I can think, oh, I'm just one person. What can I do? And then my friend thinks, I'm just one person. What can I do? And then the person on YouTube thinks, I'm just one person. What can I do? It's like, I'm gonna be me. Joel Osteen, I kind of like him. I don't know. Some people don't like him. I feel good sometimes listening to him. He says, I know they say he's a prosperity preacher. I mean, I like him a lot. There might be other people that I don't want to say like more. I'm not trying to compare, but that I really feel the depth of their message. But he says, you really gotta discipline your thought life. You really gotta discipline your thought life, and I think that's so powerful because sometimes we just let our thoughts get away with us, and at least I do. Or I think like depression and like what doesn't, and then like anxiety, which is like this energy versus this energy. It seems like it's becoming very common, or either commonly experienced or common in the human experience. And maybe that's because we just are so out of balance. Not enough sun, not enough proper human interaction, not enough depth, just so many things, right? So he says, be disciplined in your thought life. And this other lady giving a sermon, she said, the devil will try to colonize, or I don't know if she's what verb she used, will try to take over your mind and say, I'm just one person. But then everyone thinks that, and then no one does anything, right? So I do think we live different lives. So plebeian, and because there are different castes, or different, I mean, that's a strong word, but different classes, different castes. And I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm just trying to reach people, because if you are one of the plebs and you are struggling and you're not sure why the common advice given to you doesn't work, then maybe there's some different steps you need to take. But just these are just thoughts, suggestions. You can work through it. Okay, I like that. I don't know about that. I didn't agree with that, but I can do this. It's not about attacking me, because I'm not trying to be incite. Okay, there's insight, like, he incited a fight or whatever. Insightful as like, that poem was so insightful. But insightful, the other kind of insightful, I think, which is you're trying to incite things. You're trying to like make things controversial. I'm not trying to make things controversial. If anything, I want to bring, if I have any capacity, to bring peace to people, to bring understanding, to potentially, bring compassion and kindness to the experience. And then you get criticized for saying stuff like that, because like, are you a perfect person? No, I'm not. But we can do our best. Anyway, so plebeian, because we do have an experience that sometimes there are different classes, and it's different, not just like, I didn't get to buy 2 Louis Vuitton bags, I only got to buy 1. Not in that bullshit level. That's what upper class people think money is about, like having nicer clothes. No, it's like, I didn't get to go to any of my cousins' weddings because I didn't have the money. Because there's, and now I'm going to say things that people are going to want to criticize me, but there's no reason that Honda and Toyota should take, like, okay, so Honda and Toyota are big companies. They sell you a car. Car's like what, $15,000 to $25,000 at a normal rate. Maybe you can get a really expensive car too. They take 1 to 5% interest rate, maybe more, but you can get a 1 to 4% interest rate on a car. But the federal government thinks they need to take almost 7% on your student loans. So Honda and Toyota, I'm pretty sure they're profitable. I don't know. They take 1 to 4%. You can get that on a car. You can get more too. Obviously it wouldn't be wise, but at that level you might want to save. And anyway, whatever. We'll talk about interest rates later, but I just don't see why the federal government needs to take almost 7% interest rate on student loans. And then you're like really young, either 18 or 22 or whatever, very young, when you're taking out these loans. And even on the student loan sites, it says Congress sets the interest rate. And Dave Ramsey is funny. He always says, when he's talking to people, they're overspending. He's like, so you guys have been spending like you were in Congress, buying this, buying that, buying coats, buying cars, buying boats. And he's like, you're spending like you're in Congress. The people in Congress, to my knowledge, I don't know all of them. I can do some research. We all can. I don't feel like they live like you and I do. Or I don't know who's watching this, but there's no reason there should be almost 7% interest rate on student loans. And if you're saying, well, why'd you take the loans? I worked 5 jobs when I was in college. Yeah, but some people, when I talk to them, they're like, I was like, how did you get your jobs? Oh, I had a car. How'd you get that car? Oh, my dad bought it for me. Or it was used. Well, that's who paid for the insurance on it? Who, oh, he gave me a gas card and they paid for it. I mean, it just, sometimes it's like even that one used car can change a lot. And a lot of people don't even have that. And then the parents paid for like the insurance, which sometimes is like, especially if when you're really young, you're a huge risk. So it's like $200 a month. So if you look at minimum wage and then sometimes, and then if you're in school too and you actually need time to study, it's I just think it's really rich how people like try to, well, I did this. Well, everyone has different abilities, different capacities. I feel like the stage shouldn't be set so that you can just live a dignified normal life only if you're the most capable. Like, if you're born and you're a normal person of normal capacity and you want to go to work every day, I think you should be able to go to work every day and have a place to live and healthy food to eat. Like, there's no reason the abundance that we have in this world that you should not be able to go to work, have time to sleep, have time to exercise, have time to be social, and have a place to live, a safe place to live, and food to eat. There's no reason. And that's the case for many people. And it's not okay. And I think people are very judgmental and they don't feel the experience. They hear things and they get annoyed. Well, I didn't take out student loans. So I didn't do it. Sorry, I'm getting like irritated. Sorry. And people are like, I don't know what people say. People always like to talk badly about people. Like, oh, she's being so child. But like, can we be generous? Can we be kind? If you had a child, or maybe a younger sister and brother that you really cared about, if you had a child and one was really capable and one was not, and I've actually tutored in homes. One of the sons didn't need tutoring, didn't need a psychologist, didn't need anything. He just would finish his homework either at school or like 30 minutes when he got home, and he was just always happy, kind of in a good mood. The mom told me, she said, he's always just so easy and he just gets everything done. And then her other son had a tutor every day of the week for a few hours, and also had like a coach, like a personality coach and a psychologist. She's just, because I guess there was a divorce and I don't know if it affected him more than the other son, but she's like, yeah. And he was sometimes a little nippy. He was like, and for the most student part, when I tutor students, they're always very polite. And he was young, he was going through stuff, so she put so much investment in her child who needed it. And the other one who was just, he didn't need a tutor, he didn't need anything. He was just kind of happy and good to go. She didn't want one of her sons to be super successful, and the other one, I don't know what should I do, and the other one not to be, right? In this society, it's like, oh, you're good, we're going to give you even more. And if you're bad, we're going to give you less. But like maybe one day the other son will be even, who knows what success is or not or whatever, maybe more successful or just as successful as the other son, who knows, But when there's a need, that need, I mean, it's like not even a horrible thing to say, but this is like supposedly scandalous or like revolutionary or like incendiary. The needs should be met. Like, why are we... It's not that you have to, you can choose to. It's not like, I say this sometimes, it's not an obligation, it's an invitation. If someone has a need, you can fulfill that need. Everyone has different, I know this sounds like very, oh, let's hold hands and sing songs. Everyone has different skills and abilities and everyone has different gifts, and I mean that seriously, but we all hold everyone to the same thing, and I just know life can be different, and not like in a way where you're enabling people or you're excusing people, but like you're really helping them be successful. I just feel like if we can stop the judgment train and start the more compassion train and try to really understand people and understand where they're coming from and try to be open to a different experience. I think that Ava DuVernay in her When They See Us, in that movie, which is telling a story, right? I think she captivated people's hearts because we connected with the emotional part of ourselves, the spirit. Like, we saw a person and we saw ourselves in that person. Like, wow, this is really awful. And she captured the humanity of people, which I think we miss when we judge them. So there's no reason for a 7% interest rate on student loans. And then you can say, oh, well, if you can't afford it, don't go to school. And that's a potential for some people. But some people don't go to school and they're working 2 minimum wage jobs. They're like sleepless. They're constantly getting sick. That's not right either. This country has so much wealth. I mean, I know I pay so much into taxes. I mean, a lot of people do, It's like you work so much. But And some people are like, oh yeah, I grew up in this, difficult neighborhood or whatever. Now, like, I'm, a lawyer or whatever. And there are those cases maybe of extreme intelligence or whatever, or even just physical fortitude. You have enough energy in your body, and you only need 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And it really comes down to that, where you can, work full time and go to school first time. Not everyone has that in their body. They're just overwhelmed. They're tired, It shouldn't be only those people who are able to be successful. I mean all of what I say deep from within my spirit, and it comes from a place of compassion and hope and kindness. And I'm not necessarily saying, say you write a book or you make a gadget. I don't know. I mean, capitalism, I don't know. But say you do something really well and you do make a lot of money. I guess that's in you legitimately. Say you write a book and everyone loves it. I don't know, J.K. Rowling. So that's that, right? What I'm saying is, I don't believe that I think that I don't want people to have abundance. It's actually the contrary. Let's make the party bigger and for more people, and not put judgments on people that are not accurate. I mean, I don't want more than one car. One car is enough for me. I don't want more than one, I need one car. I need one place to live. I need, but say my friend wrote a best-selling book and now she has 2 places to live because she needs to be in New York and LA or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like being honest. I'm not like going after her, but I'm just saying there's people who don't have one place to sleep, put their head down, and we judge them. And like, but how do you know that what you think is true, that they deserve to be there? I mean, maybe some people choose it and they'll tell you, like, I chose this and I want this life or whatever. Because I think in The Glass Castle, it's a book, she talks about that. Her parents like supposedly chose it or something. But I don't know if you really choose it or if it's some emotional problem. I don't know. But like, there's a lot of people who don't want to be in the streets, and we have more than enough. So how can we transform that? And how can we choose to care if we don't care? Or if we even don't care, how can we, say you don't care and you just don't care and you don't want to care, then that's okay. I guess, I don't know. But like, there's something that wants to come out of me, and I don't even know if there's an audience for it. But I mean, when we look at Mother Teresa, and she says you can't love people if you're too busy judging them. She didn't look at the people on the streets and think, oh, they deserve to be there. They didn't work hard enough. They didn't get A's. They didn't get into Harvard. They didn't work, they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Now they deserve to be on the street. She didn't judge them. She loved them, and we don't look at her like as scandalous. Oh, how she's a socialist. She's horrible. No, like people are like, wow, she's amazing, right? Why do we look at compassion with such critical eyes? Maybe we should look at just indifference, our common indifference with more critical eyes. The truth is, sometimes, and I don't know if I should say this, sometimes I feel angry and I feel hopeless at the way things are. Not that there's not some good things. There are some good things, and there are some good people. But like, there are a lot of things that are problematic and very problematic. And just because they don't affect you doesn't mean that they're not real, and that you can't make a choice that reflects compassion. Like I say, it's an invitation to be generous. It's an invitation to be kind. It's an invitation to make a difference in someone's life, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? You met someone at 18, right? And you come into their life, whether you buy them a Honda, whatever, they need to get to work, they need to get to school. You like mentor them. By the time they're 28, they're like, I don't know, I'm just throwing some stuff out there, societal stuff. They're a lawyer, or they're just really sick. They started a business or whatever. Like, you mentor them. Like, this is a long haul commitment. This is not just shot in the dark kind of quick thing. But you mentor them, and they go from like a situation that maybe have been difficult to like this flourished life, and it's all because of you. I'm like, how would you not enjoy that? Like, who, if you are in that position? I know some people are really busy with their business or their family or their whatever, or they're just, everyone's just trying to get through. But some people do have a little extra time, and they are wondering how they can make a bigger impact. And I think mentoring someone who's freshly out of high school and like taking someone from where they are to where they could be. I mean, I know people think maybe, if you're such a badass and you're not afraid to do business, I don't think, I guess you could be, afraid of necessarily an 18-year-old just trying to figure out how to make it in the world. I mean, I guess there is some liability there, but if you're so good at everything, you can't be good at this too. I just feel like it's an invitation for people of skill and capacity to make an impact, a greater impact on communities and the lives of people maybe they wouldn't otherwise interact with, and create a bridge, and just, even if it's you just did something for one person, you help them, like, oh, they got out of high school and they have no direction, maybe they don't have the support that maybe the village that some people have, and you said you said I don't know. You said, shit. Sorry. It's kind of, everyone gets embarrassed when they cry, and I don't know why. Maybe because it's awkward and it makes us look weak or something. I don't know. Who knows? It's so bad to cry. It's probably something we should look into as just a people. But, you told someone, I don't know, like, I don't even know, like, I wasn't even planning on crying. I mean, who plans to cry? I wasn't planning on crying, and I don't know why this specific thing makes me so emotional, which is just weird. You looked at someone and you said, I will be your village. I will be the village you never had. I will be your support system. I will love you. I will follow you into the dark. I will be your light. I will support you. I will ensure that you're successful as long as you're committed to, I'll have your back. And as long as, you're willing to put your heart into this experience. Like, I mean, isn't that powerful to have an impact like that on one person's life when so many people, they end up forgotten or incarcerated or in these horrible situations? Instead of really looking, we judge people. And maybe you could be the reason why someone's ending is so different than their beginning. It's just a choice, and you don't have to make it. That's why I say it's an invitation, not an obligation, and you can do that for someone, but only if you choose to. And I don't know why this is making me so emotional, but you can do that. So plebeian princess, because so many of us are maybe not treated regal, R-E-G-A-L, regally. But everyone deserves to be treated well, with love and respect and kindness and some beautiful, maybe small luxuries and beauty. And plebeian princess, because even though maybe we're all ordinary, we're also extraordinary, and not everyone has that experience, but I think that they could. And I think we can make that choice, and I don't know, I feel like, on like YouTube, all the girls know how to do their makeup and they look nice in the videos, like, and then I try to do what they do, and then I don't know what I'm doing, and then, I don't know why I'm saying that right now, I feel self-conscious, but, yeah, so I hope that, if you ever leave a comment, just leave a kind one, because I don't have the space for any nonsense, and I'm not inviting anyone to be lazy or to try to blame. It's an invitation to invite greater sense of community and kindness and generosity into the human experience. And if you're opposed to that, then I don't know that I need your energy in my life or in this space, because I only have so much energy in this human experience, and I'm already exhausted sometimes, So if this had an impact on you at all, if it did, you have the choice to make an impact in the life of a young male or female or whoever, like a young, because I feel like, especially in certain communities, the young males, for whatever reason, maybe some obvious, some not, do end up maybe in some less desirable situations. And I think a lot of people have such wonderful, no one's life is perfect, but a lot of people have a life where their decisions do lead to certain outcomes. Like, it's like, oh, you do this and that happens, this and this happens, but that's not everyone's life. And so you see someone and you think, well, I did this and it led to this, I did this and it led to this, but you don't even think of that in some ways you were set up for success if you made the certain choices. And some people try and they try and they try, and like it still ends so difficult in such a difficult way. I don't know if you'll like him, but Luis J. Rodriguez, La Vida Loca, Always Running. It's a book. He actually has an amazing story, but even though he has an amazing story, there were still a lot of bumps in it and still some tragedies, even after he was like successful, you know, so it's not always perfect. But I hope that you got something out of this, and if you did, great. And if you watch all this, great. And I invite kindness and beauty and love in this environment, and no hate, because we're all so tired, and we all want to feel good. So let us feel good, and let us be humble in our expression. And I always try to be. I'm not a perfect person, but thank you for watching this, and have a good day. Plebeian princess, because we are all royalty, even if we're not always treated that way. We can choose to treat each other better, and also take care of ourselves.